Hello, my followers on Facebook. I earlier on told you that we'll be starting our presidential lecture today, but for security reasons, I have changed the time, and I want to say special good morning to a certain group of people that have been very supportive to this program and in my life. First of all, I want to wish Honorable Kennedy Japon good morning, and thank you very much for your kindness and your support for me. And I also want to say A+, good morning, and keep the good works. Anasar Miao, all the investigation now journalists, Bekubaku, Your Excellency, Miyako Bekubaku, Your Excellency, and I, Christy Pratt, and all the senior journalists of the country, I say, I salute you all. And my honorable, it's been a long time, First Lady, and I mean all the top shots, including my international associates and all the security apparatus across the world. I say thank you for the protection and information that we share to see Madagascar grow in a small country on a large continent. My name is Richard M. Suleiman. Now, today's presidential lecture, I start with security matters. I was supposed to start in the making of a leader, but it's come very urgent for me to start with security matters because of the current state of our nation. It is no politics to live in an unsecure nation, and it's animosity to be happy because you belong to a certain divide that is the problem or creating the problem, or being irresponsible in handling the solution of insecurity. So you have to say thumbs up when it's thumbs down. And I am being very frank. I have decided to maintain my posture of being honest, sincere, and loyal to my motherland, Ghana. And I will not let politics take away my dignity, pride, and honor, in spite of the reputational abuses that I am receiving from all walks of so-called businessmen and politicians, and the fear of leadership that are creating and spending so much in trying to rape our reputations. We still stand tall, and we accept and agree to all that they say about us. But the only thing is we hope and pray that we also change and be good as they are. And in their leadership state, it was their responsibility to see to it that we become good people, and not for them to spread our bad news and our bad behaviors and our bad character and our bad nature. Perhaps the irresponsibility of a young man can come from an irresponsible leader. So maybe some leaders are not doing their work well to see to it that we are good just like they are, and we will one day be like them. Now, we go on to security matters in the first phase of our presidential lecture. And I will say the backbone of every government stands on security. Each time a government or a president fails to see priority as its hallmark, benchmark, pivot, basement, foundation of his economy and building a nation, obviously it becomes a problem because you can never have a stable economy without security. You can never have a stable nation without security. You can never have a peaceful country without security. You can spend all the billions of your wealth on bringing Jesus to manage the Ministry of Finance of your country, and you will still fail because you lack security. And I want us to cast our mind back on something. In your marriage, security is key. In your friendship, security is key. In your business, security is key. In your entertainment ground, security is key. So if one wants to build an economy without security, he's only playing an illusional game. It is a country or an economic magicians on an illusional spree, illusional ground. You will give the hopes and promises to the people. They will listen to it, they will hear it, they will follow it, they will be excited, and it will increase their hope, and their hope will evaporate because of lack of security in governance. Now, where do government always fail its security? In Africa, we don't have a physical fixed security structures. So what happened is we always have an opportunity of starting afresh in security by a new government coming in. The new formation of security format and stance and path and pattern is always created when there is an transitional team formed. So the success and failure of every government in Africa depends on its transitional team. I am in Ghana, I'm a Ghanaian, so I will speak of Ghana. We in Ghana, I should say, consistently have failed on security because the first step you take in forming a security determines how your government will go, whether peaceful or not peaceful, whether happy or not happy, whether fruitful or not fruitful, whether economic giant or economic failure, whether economic physical discipline or physical indiscipline, whether economic corrupt or financial incorrupt. Without security, all these things doesn't work. So when you have a bunch of people in your government that is forming the transition team, and the transition team is formed based on the personal interests of certain key people that were living around the flag bearer without security experts, you will bound to have a political transitional team that will run a political interest transition and give you political security reports that similarly seems to look like witch hunting, self-gains, and there won't be any professionalism in it. The NDC have failed once. The MPP is also currently failing on security matters, and we need to be very open. And I pray that no one takes offense of what I'm saying, but rather will take pleasure in taking the sense that I make in this than taking pain of the truth that I'm speaking. Martin Amidu had been very consistent in his statement in his speech on corruption, and that is today rewarded him a reputation that is worthy to work with another political party's government to achieve the fight against corruption in a country. And for this reason, we definitely have to try and understand and pick the good out of it and get rid of the bad if necessary. In fact, our security setup is a mess, a complete mess, a serious threat to humanity and the development and growth of a nation. My fellow countrymen, I want you to bear with me. I am not being political with this. I am being real. And I pray that someday you people will say, this guy is honest. He's been consistent. No matter the side he belongs on political grounds, when the truth comes, he speaks it. Now, why is Ghana failing currently, and why I see danger is because our security stance looks interesting. I have earlier on spoken about, I hope you've seen all these documents that I'm holding here. They are all evidences, reports, and proofs of corruption in the country within 1 year. I have here about 1.5 terabyte video, audio, and pictures evidence also that covers the corruption of the country and insecurity that is going on in the country currently. And very soon, as I release the presidential lecture and the rest, I will definitely be dropping the videos, be dropping some of the audios and the pictures for all of you to see and understand that we do not just speak, but we speak based on evidence and what we hold on the ground, undoubted evidences. Now, I speak of security, and the first place that I will tackle is the immigration service. In fact, the most irresponsible, excuse my language, and not too useless, but deliberately refusing to operate based on their professionalism and intellectuality, because when you take our immigration service from Ghana to anywhere in the world, the report will come that Ghana is ranked, and Ghana Immigration Service is ranked the best in Africa. But here we have a country, our statistics service don't even know how many Ghanaians we have, and I challenge them, if they want, they should come out and tell Ghanaians how many Ghanaians we have in Ghana, and tell us how many foreigners they have in Ghana, and tell us not too long, I won't say 1 year because they don't have it, just a week ago how many foreigners came in. They have no idea. Ghana has become a no man's land. Ghana has become a playground, and Ghana has become a state to loot. So everybody is looting, everybody is stealing, and everybody is dumping every kind of rubbish on us. Nigeria is tightening its security. Mali is tightening its security. Burkina is tightening its security. Togo is tightening its security. And the unpleasant nature of governance or the professionalism of security in these countries are pushing all form of crimes, criminals, to make Ghana a hub. It used to be a transit point for crimes, both cyber, physical, murder, armed robbery, etc. But now it's becoming a hole. And why I choose the immigration first is because The beginning of every crime depends on the immigrants, foreigners that come in. The citizens have its own side, but what makes it very dangerous and untraceable is when foreigners are committing crimes on your land. And it was the duty of immigration to work with its stakeholders, the BNI, National Security, Defense Intelligence, and the so-called DI that is formed, that is giving only political report on who to victimize. These things must stop so that we can develop well in the country. You see, first of all, the immigration service, in my interview and research, I was informed that, well, we can do the work, but due to political interference, we are not operating. If due to political interference you are not operating, then you are, due to political influence, not worthy to be professionally be in the immigration service. So that you join politics and play politics. Resign if possible and tell Ghana why you resigned. The politician and political party that is interfering in your professionalism as immigration, police, BNI, national security, etc., will lose its trust from Ghanaians, and that will exonerate you someday, because the more you come out to expose the interference, these institutions should definitely come out to expose the interference of politicians in their line of duty as professional security experts. And drop your pen. Go home and sit down. Because you can't be there serving as immigration officers and you are doing nothing, and the country is dying and the future of this nation is drowning. In our analysis, we drew down and recorded down to the next 10 years. We will, next 10 years to 15 years. Okay, 10 years from now, we will have about 70 to 80% of Ghanaians who will live in this country, and will definitely have all the 70% will have foreign trees in their family tree. My father is a Nigerian, my mother is a Ghanaian. My mother is a Ghanaian, my father is a Burkinabe. My grandfather is a Burkinabe, he came to marry a Ghanaian, and then we stayed in Ghana for some years, and now we are Ghanaian, and we've also married a Ghanaian. And you see, you will create so much problems, and eventually it will start dropping down, and it will be a Nigerian, Ghanaian, Malian, Burkinabe, Togolese, and it will continue like that until a certain original country citizens, immigrants, start claiming. Well, some people may argue and say, well, originally we've never had Ghanaians. Ghans are from somewhere, the Gombes are from somewhere, and we've settled. And if you have settled, make yourself a country and stay like that and manage it and build it up. Don't let in 2018, 2017, 2016, 2020, the problems, we keep immigrating ourselves and continuously. So we must seal the 500 years ago immigrants who have formed Ghana, and we are their offsprings growing up, etc. So it should stay like that. But let me come back to the immigration service. You see, the kind of crime that is committed in Mali, Burkina, Togo, Benin, Nigeria is different from the kind of crimes which Ghanaians will commit. So currently, I'm seeing that the Ghanaian security are finding it problem using their original system that they have in fighting crimes, because they have no idea of the type of crime that is going on. It happened, they study, and then they now go and learn what has happened, and then they need to implement strategy towards it. And every day, new form of scheme comes in to new form of scheme of crimes come in for the security services to be learning, because the only certificate you need to be a Ghanaian is to speak 5-letter words in P. That is your passport, that is your birth certificate, that is your national ID, and that is just all you need. Just come to Ghana, keep quiet, stay some small corner, and learn at the same what's your name, Biafra was saying that you mentioned. If you are able to speak just 5-letter words in P, then you are a citizen of the country. And I think the immigration must sit up, boost up themselves, and secure this country for us. They are making the work of police very difficult, making the work of investigators very difficult, because we do our own independent investigations as citizens and not spectators. I think we see more than we should see and know more than we should know. And I think it's time for the immigration service to sit up. And all this these problems began on the head of the transition team. When a new government comes in and it do not see the problems before it comes to power, but took advantage of the complaints and grievances of people and promised to seal their grievances and give them hope on where they complain and where they cry. When they come, they'll come to see the reality of the mess, which perhaps will take more than a year or 2 or 3 to fix before you can now start implementing or giving the hope that you have promised the people which they were crying on. So it's up to the transition team. Before you come to power, you must even have your transition team in waiting. They come with an agenda. These transition team are supposed to pick your national security coordinators regionally. And then not just pick them based on who is rich, who is kind to me, who is a friend, who was a former military man, who was a former policeman, who was victimized by NDC in the service, who was retired because of political victimization. You don't pick your national security operatives based on these grounds. You pick them even if he's a businessman or is a groundnut seller. When you pick him, or even if he's a victimized political whatever, when you pick him, the transition team is supposed to have an agenda. You are going to the northern region, and in the northern region, with my political party called the AAAK party, we are definitely sending you to the northern region to do A, B, C, D for 1 year. If you succeed, we'll give you another year. You are going to the central region, and when you are going, this is the agenda. My political party and my government is sending you to the central region as the national security liaison to do A, B, C, D with an agenda. But not because the person has a security background, you just push him to any region, he goes to sit there and wait. When ministers are coming, they blow siren and then they get themselves together when the president. No. The national security coordinators must go with an agenda, with an assignment that is in alignment with the government, with the country, and with the political party which is in power at that time. But as far as I'm concerned, some of them truly have an agenda, but it's not in alignment with the party, it's not in alignment with the government, and it's not even in alignment with the country. It is only in alignment with the one who lobbied for him to get the position as a national security coordinator or a liaison in a region. This is what we have found out. This is very dangerous. This is very hard. But we need to just watch and let go. So as you watching the presidential lecture, we the youth, the young ones, buckle up, take your pen and your paper, be writing this notes down. Someday we will take over. Like I already said, death is male, we all shall eat one day and none of us will escape it. And for this matter, one day the young will take over from the old. The old perhaps may argue, but these days the young die and the old is dead. Yes, that is not the actual nature or the trend of nature. It should go. The trend of nature is the young will take over from the old. So we, the young ones, are now learning from the mistakes. And I always say, make the current mistakes your study material for preparation for the future. And so this is the first place. Now, in our civil service, due to the failure of immigrational problems, immigrants come to school. Before they finish their 3 years in the university or the tertiary institution in this country, they are citizens of Ghana. Due to they immigrating themselves from their country to your country or to Ghana to study, their tender of seriousness, ambition, determination is always a little higher above the citizens. And this always gives them the certificate to come out as fruitful, more qualified university graduates, tertiary institution graduates, or whatever graduate certificate they hold from Ghana. And that qualifies them straight, without work permit, without residence permit, without any documentation, legal documentation that qualifies a foreigner to work, move straight and becomes a boss over the citizens illegitimately. And as I'm speaking, I hope your mind is drawing on something. If we want to check some bosses who speak so many Ghanaian language who are foreigners who do not have the requirements to work or even study in the country, who are presiding in the ministries today, how will your country grow if you have people who do not even have your country at heart, who are foreigners? I'm not saying all, but most. And due to the carelessness of our selection of people who are in the ministries, ministers, chief directors, district directors, I mean, a lot need to go into security in terms of immigration. And they have to bring in their brother when they come. Oh, the director of this ministry or this department, that's his brother. You can't consider him a foreigner again. Oh, he was in Burkina, now he's in Ghana. Oh, he's from Nigeria, now he's in Ghana. Oh, he's from Togo, now he's in Ghana. And it stays like that. All he needs is stay in the room or make friends and speak 3-letter words of Twi or Asante or any Ghanaian language. And then that is his book to be a citizen. So, immigration service, I think our security matters is becoming serious, and you need to buckle up, gear up, sit up, and come with your stakeholders, and then we'll move on from there. Otherwise, you will build the economy, you will pump in, you will pump out, you will flush out, you will arrest, you will prosecute, you will do all this, and the problem will keep recycling and recycling and recycling until a day will come. A certain group of people will tell you they no longer want to be Ghanaians, they want to take their region. We don't want to be part of Ghana, we want to take our region. We don't want to be part of Ghana, we want to take our region. And they do that based on their numbers and the way they have penetrated government, the way they have penetrated the country, and the way they have increased their number and kept their ideology, their mentality, their agenda intact. So they will now claim in Ghana, but they want their own country within the country. You understand? And these problems will start rising. I'm not trying to scare or put any panic, but I'm telling you, the things that we are seeing with the immigration front, I clearly see that very soon there will be so much chaos, tribal, traditional, ethnic, etc. So much chaos. Fulanis are there, the Togo homeland are there, etc. And look, I'm telling you, if immigration do not sit up, you will not build a country. You will only build an institution that is working for foreigners to take over your country. Sometimes that's why I make sense with Trump, His Excellency, the United President of the United States. He's trying to take America for Americans, but he's finding it difficult to identify Americans because America had opened itself and it's a problem. And if you do not mind your borders and your immigrational problems properly, you will have a very messy country, a very messy nation, a very destructive country to run. So Ghana Immigration Service, the security problems which we are facing in the country, everyone is talking about the security threat, the security problems, insecurity and fear. But we need to start putting up ideas together, giving plans and strategy and informing ourselves. I suspect this is some of the problem. There are more. If you go on my system, I'm telling you, the things we have on the system is overwhelming. Sometimes people do ask, how do you keep all these problems in your mind? I've not started telling you the problems. I want you to develop the interest to follow the presidential lecture or just get out of it. But I'm telling you, it will be very interesting. And sometimes even Martin Amidu, the special prosecutor, if he is passed by Parliament, will take some of his evidences from us. Because what we are holding on state, government, civil servant, evidence and crimes that is committed on this country is serious and overwhelming. And I pray that Ghana Immigration Service will sit down and take just some 2, 3, 4 things and blend them together and see the danger ahead. Unless the people that are supposed to sit down and think of what I'm talking about are corporates or are victims or are the ones that I'm talking about. The same people that are handling these institutions perhaps may have the background of what I'm talking about. So they'll rubbish it, feel relaxed, and bring illusional professionalism. Oh, don't mind him, or that one. Oh, we are professional. We know what we are doing. We'll handle it. What he's saying is true, but we'll handle it, and then that is just it. This is what they do because he knows he himself has caused this country, and he himself have the same background problem and those kind of things. So when they get their way into the civil services and ministries and things, and such reports are coming, when you bring the document, you still go to the same ministry and then they'll throw it away. You understand? You write proposals that will make agriculture stand, write proposals that will make a Ministry of Health stand, and it will go the long way and then they'll throw it away and even sometimes copy it to their country and they'll implement it in their country while the brain itself came from here, but we are not benefiting from our own human resource power. And so Ghana Immigration Service, with the first security threat of our presidential lecture, we asked the Ghana Immigration Service to try to boost up, wake up, and try as much as possible to work with these stakeholders like the Defense Intelligence, National Security, BNI, Police, CID, and Foreign Affairs, etc., so that we think and see how we can solve the immigrational problem of this country that will reduce the crime rate in the country. Every crime that happened in this country, 10 out of 3 are foreigners, out of 4 are foreigners, or out of 5 are foreigners. And it still didn't ring bell in your mind that Ghana Police Service must write proposals and reports to Foreign Affairs and Immigration Service for them to start checking themselves and how the in and outflow of foreigners and how they identify and how we can monitor and how we can give foreigners privilege to this level and give the citizens of privilege to this level. Obviously, even in every country, when you go in a law court, the citizens have 50% right. Today, in our law courts, foreigners have 70% right, and the citizens rather have just 30%. And all these things must be checked. Have they penetrated into our judicial service already? The analysis that I gave, foreigners just come within 3 years, they finish school in the country, they hold certificates and they are citizens. he becomes a judge, he's sitting down. Maybe he's from Mars. Then a citizen from Mars and a Ghanaian come to the court. What do you expect? Verbally and professionally, they will tell you, oh no, we'll do the right thing, we'll execute our professionalism to the brim and will not politicize it or make it ethnic or whatever. But I'm telling you, it's there, and the citizen's right must be felt before the foreigner, and this must go on, and we must try to practice it properly and allow, when even a whistleblower sends an information of a foreigner, you are in trouble. And the immigration service must take this serious. I don't know whether there's any government in this country that can solve this problem. But we, the young ones, we are watching how much our leaders today are being cruel, wicked, selfish, and highly irresponsible in fixing all this problem before they go for us to take over. So we need to be thinking about it before they leave for us to come. And so any government that is coming after this government in the next 4 years, in the next 8 years, in the next 10 years, or how long this government will stay for another government to come, should try to consider its transitional team serious and put all institutions inside its transition, outside the transition, before it comes to power, and then begin its transitional discharges. Some of the problems which we identified during just this current 2016 election transitional team of PMPP. The transitional team members will go identify a problem, see it, and the person who is a perpetrator of the crime that the transitional team will go and see has a friend who is in the party that is in power, then he will call, oh, your boys are here, they are coming to do this, and he may tell lies or ask the party man to support him. Then the party man who is not in the security field or not part of the transition team will call someone bigger and then ask him, tell those boys to leave the place. Then they leave the crime, they leave the act, drugs dealing, illegal factories set up and in basements by foreigners. All these things that I'm speaking about are done by foreigners. Illegal factories that are set up in basements, money laundering, human rights abuse. I mean, every crime that we detect, the transition team will detect on the ground, these people will call another. I came across one problem that was so funny, that you get a foreigner who have committed a crime, you go to him to sit down to talk to him, then he tell you, wait, my boss is coming. Then he will call a regional police officer, and the regional police officer will come to interrogate the transitional team member who have detected a crime that they all have accepted is a crime, and then he will rubbish you and then disgrace you even in front of the foreigner who has committed a crime, and then you walk away embarrassed. So next time you see a problem and you just be quiet. You see, the problem of government based on government over government after government is the formation of a transition team. Immigration, security, economy. We need economic intelligence, and they are all there. The names are there. They put people there to make salary, but the work is not done. Because, look, let us build a strong transition that will walk into the government. So this should go a long way for the future. That's why this is the presidential lecture. So we will be building ourselves, building our mind, building our strategies and plans towards the future. When we get the opportunity, when our children get the opportunity, because their children like us are waiting and we are seeing. Our grandfathers gave them the opportunity and they came, but they never saw anything wrong with their grandfather's style of governance. And so when they came to take over, they are continuing or even acting worse than our grandfathers. And so we, the children, are studying our fathers and will use our fathers' mistakes as our study material for the betterness for tomorrow. My name is Richard M. Suleiman, the presidential lecturer, and this is just a piece. Security is serious, and currently Ghana is facing a serious security threat, and there is a heavy trouble, big trouble coming ahead of us. Serious trouble, security-wise. And all will be caused by foreigners. And it's going to be land issues. It's going to be serial killing. It's going to be serial rapes. It's going to be serial kidnapping. It's going to be serial drugs. When I talk of drugs, I weak because I spent some few months in the port doing some few things with my boys, and they are even still there working. And the videos that we receive, the pictures, and the crimes, the way officers connive to take drugs out of container before security come there, and things which are caught on cameras and things I don't even know. Sometimes I wonder, the defense intelligence, the BNI, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder. When I was a little boy, when I hear of BNI, I really panic. They can victimize me. They can say, let's show this guy the BNI. It's just because I'm saying this. That one you can do it. Or a politician will just call, look, go and show this guy power. That one you can do it. But I'm talking of when I was a child growing up. Before you hear the name of BNI, the type of crime that you hear, police cannot do it. CID cannot do it. And today I wonder the things that we see and the type of evidences we are holding, and why the BNI, the Defense Intelligence, the CIDs, and other security agencies are not taking this up. Are they foreigners? Are they citizens? Togo cars. Why police cannot arrest Togo cars and allow them to flourish and even open carport and car sales? Look, there are so many things that is happening in the country, and immigration service must sit up. The problem began from the transition team, and I am picking the immigration out of it because I am seeing that the root of the crimes and the security threats and problems which we have, the root of it is coming from immigrational problems, because every 10 crimes that is committed, 5 are foreigners, 6 or 7 are foreigners, and 3 are citizens, or 5 are citizens and 5 are foreigners. That means we are running a 50-50 nation with the foreigners. And our survey in the West African region, the security of all these countries are becoming very tight. Cyber, physical, etc., intelligence, and otherwise. And so the criminals are finding it very difficult staying in their country. So they are building their districts, sub-offices, and they are immigrating themselves to settle in Ghana to perpetrate their crimes around the West African border. So very soon, Ghana will get a very bad record. The world will bring this out. Very, very soon, the report will come that Ghana stinks. Ghana stinks in terms of security, crimes, and attitudes and characters and things that is unhuman, that is not worthy to be in society and humanity. Very soon this report will come from the international community, from the West African bodies, etc. And there is a serious problem coming up. And I'm telling you, in some part of Ghana, go to Tipto Lane, for instance, etc. From A Street to B Street, you will only find 10% of Ghanaians, all the rest are foreigners. And now, our current intelligence that we are picking up, all of them are arming themselves, buying weapons and arming themselves. Because they have their people in the police station, they do the registration for them to arm. Look, this country is running into a serious problem, dangerous one. And I want our security services. The security services are there, they can work, they know what to do. But politicians, please, give them the chance to work professionally. I'm Richard M. Suleiman, the Presidential Lecturer. Thank you.